Hey guys, it's me, your fresh out the oven GM Amber. This week we continue on with the one-shot of Lasers and Feelings that I ran. I'm gonna be real, guys. This was a very difficult episode for me to listen to. I'm super critical of myself and I just kept hearing things that really bothered me. But I guess this is how I'm going to improve, which is why this episode is a little bit longer than what I would normally like to do, because there's a good chunk of recap at the end with the players right after the game and then some of my thoughts after the fact. So buckle up. Gonna be a little bit of turbulence. Okay, cool. As you get to the bridge, There's just shit everywhere. Is it ensign? Somebody, an ensign is like, we're getting some stuff on the radar. We're not exactly sure what this is. I can't really read this very well.
We should probably shoot it.
Okay. It's still so many, however many space miles.
It's 7 clicks away.
Yeah, okay. Clicks away.
So do we want to fly in a little closer first?
You're picking up something, but it's not like a big thing. It's like lots of little things and
space debris.
I would like to actually take a closer look at the scanners.
Okay.
And see if I can use my, science essentially to maybe decipher exactly what this is.
Okay.
If it might be like alien insects or galactic trash or whatever.
Sure. So lasers?
Yes, lasers.
Space insects.
Snake eyes.
You got it.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I
Dang.
do.
Dang. That's a 2 success?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do it, and you do it well. So you remember that on this path that you guys are going on, this course you're going to get to this Federation port, where there was another spacecraft that was supposed to also be coming through this area. So you're thinking, wait, the timing of this is where such and such, we'll call it the black leaf was supposed to show up. You've deducted that something has gone wrong.
The black leaf appears to have been mulched.
Okay.
It had a rendezvous at this location at this time, and if you look very closely, you can see the Captain Horatio's arm floating in the debris field. At precisely 32 degrees.
Which you do recognize on sight, this arm.
It's because he had the big Horatio tattoo on his forearm.
He had his own name tattooed on his arm.
So he doesn't forget.
Gotta know who it belongs to,
Right.
True.
The one side said Horatio and the other side said Pride. And so Horatio
him.
Pride. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I can't say the other arm.
So are you guys going to fly through it or stop to check it out, or...
Did I see any kind of obstruction out there or force field or...
Not to your knowledge.
All right. Well, I will report that to the captain so that...
the captain is lying in the
the
medical pod.
Not the captain. Fucking
Our captain is sadly dead.
Yeah. I will report this to the pilot so that Crate may make the optimal choice.
I think our shields could probably handle this debris.
Yeah, we do have powerful shields.
That's right.
That's true.
Oh, yes, that's true. So you basically hear thunk, 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 as you're just kind of just slowly, no regard, no care about, don't looking for the black box, just on a mission to the Federation port, dropping your cargo, I'm
supposed to fly and I'm supposed to shoot shit.
All right.
I guess Lacey will be like, you know what? There usually is some kind of special recorder left on these ships. Perhaps there's some kind of love letter. We should look for it.
All
right.
Is there an actual term for that? A black box?
It's
yes,
black box.
black
yes,
box.
Yes.
Okay.
Space box.
Love letters.
And so Lacey, she actually, so there is a sonar radar part, right? And she pushes the red shirt out of the way. She's like, I'll take care of this. And there's a head visor she puts on. And she's like, I'll feel it out. I'll be able to find it.
Sure.
And montage of moaning sounds would happen right now.
Oh.
Since his feelings, 3 successes.
Damn.
You
I was assuming prepared an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're basically just had a head visor on looking and scanning out there?
Yeah, and there's like pings that go on, and she's like, I hear it. Oh, it's right over there. 25 degrees starboard.
Finds it without any problems. How are you going to retrieve it? This sounds like a job for a space marine.
Oh my god, yes.
Space Marine.
Space Marine.
Go
Suit up, rookie.
All right, I was already suited up.
He never took
Suited
his
up.
suit off.
And I was playing some space shooter in the background, getting ready for this, so I'm prepared. So yeah, I hop in, I put my tether on, and I float out there in space.
Is anybody...
So
Shouldn't we
you
tie a
have to,
rope
like-
on him or something?
Yeah, like, he's
I
tethered.
said, okay,
He's
I said
tethered. So you have to, like, use a little, like, psh, psh,
yeah,
psh, psh.
which is, technology and science.
Yes.
So I'm going to be rolling for lasers here.
All right, let's see if you get this.
Accuracy.
I would say I'm prepared,
Yes, you're prepared.
and this is my field.
Okay, yes, you're...
Is it?
Oh.
If you're going to send out the Space Marine,
yeah, I mean...
that means that's a role that Space Marines have,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I help him by slowing the ship down?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Or like stopping and putting out the blinky stop sign.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'll
I hit
let
the
you do
emergencies.
this first.
That's a 5. So what does that mean?
So what's your number?
Well,
My number was 4.
So you're using your laser.
lasers is
Okay, so
being
that
there
was a
then.
fail.
So that was a fail.
So no.
So no die. You're like, I'll stop.
Okay, so I have 2 successes.
Okay.
I maybe
Yeah.
stop fast enough that it like ricochets and back.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Snaps him.
Yeah.
All right, so I grab it. I'm looking around. I see a lot of body parts. So I'm just kind of like trying to avoid all of the blood and the guts. Just trying to like, I'll just grab the box and I make my way back.
Sure.
was
You
really
make your way
easy.
back. It was super easy. Mm-hmm. All right, so Zachary is making his way back to the ship. All of a sudden, there's like this force that pushes all the debris, and you kind of see Zachary kind of tether, go out a little bit. You're okay. You're fine. It's just like a force just pushed you out. And all of a sudden, these giant triangle ships just show up, like 4 of them, and they're surrounding you guys.
Oh, it's just like my video game. I start pulling my way in, trying to get back into the ship as fast as I can.
All these ships show up. These 4 triangle ships show up, and all of a sudden, there's like these little black orbs are shooting out and flying towards the Raptor.
Oh.
So, what do you guys do?
Oh, Sam!
I shoot
what are
one.
those things?
That is a good question. I shall search my memory banks to retrieve that particular.
Search it.
Yep. Actually, I got laser feelings and 1 success. What is the weakness of these ships? The Achilles heel.
I'm going to try and think of how to do this narratively.
We probably don't want to destroy all of them, just like maybe one so we can get away. Since we are surrounded.
Yeah, do you guys want to... I guess that really depends on... Okay, so you guys can talk that out. Let me try to figure out a way to explain the weakness.
Because like I don't want you to have to give away too much.
Yeah. So I figured it out. So what you're realizing as an android, you're like, when you see another maybe flesh biomechanical material, you recognize it. You're like, oh, well, this makeup and this polymer, and I can kind of identify this. This is biomechanical. So there's got to be a fleshy part or something somewhere, a weak spot that you can get to.
Lacey, there appears to be a fleshy weak spot that you can get to.
Oh. Well, I still don't know what they are, though.
You're referring to the projectiles?
Yes.
So what was your action was?
My actual action was to try to figure out what they were shooting at us.
What you're looking at, it also looks biomechanical. So it's something
Are we talking about
Are
the
they-
orbs or the ships?
The orbs, everything.
All of it.
Bio-
They're all Cylons.
Biomechanical tentacles?
Not tentacles per se, but as a
I'm sure you can work with it.
as a as a living cyborg hybrid, it has an area that is more biological and less armored, that may provide a weak spot for our defenses or our guns to penetrate.
Oh.
So as this really weirdly sexual conversation is happening.
I run up to the pilot and say, shoot it. Shoot bullets at it.
All right, man, you want to help? All right, you guys try to start shooting.
Tell me what station to hop on. I'll hop on a gun.
All right, I send him over to the turret.
Yes.
All right, shoot.
Okay. Is that a dice thing?
Yeah,
Who's
sure.
shooting?
Who's shooting? Are you both shooting?
Yeah, I'm at a station.
Are you guys both gunning?
You have guns, I'm sure.
I
where
got
you're sitting.
big ass guns.
You're probably using your lasers, so you're gonna have to roll. Your number was 4, so you're gonna have to roll under 4. So you are. I don't see. Would you be? You're an expert.
I have been itching
Yeah.
to
Yes.
use these guns.
Okay, so you're prepared, and you're an expert. So you'll roll 3d6.
Super cool.
And then,
2 4s and a 5, so that's 2 laser feelings
oh
and
my
a
gosh,
myth.
so many laser feelings.
Jeez, your perception.
We're min-max.
We're on a roll.
So
Yeah.
on my turn, would you say I'm prepared? I just came into the ship, so I might not actually be prepared. I
Yeah,
might have
I'm
just
not-
been directed straight for it.
Yeah, you're not prepared for this.
Okay, well I got 2 successes. So
Because like when you were flying back in, this was all happening
Yeah.
behind you. So like imagine like here's this tethered guy floating back in, and then all of a sudden,
immediately get on the.
and you're like pushed forward into the ship. You're not really prepared. You're just like,
Okay.
shit, I gotta get
And
my
then I
suit
kind of
off.
shove them in there.
Yeah, get in there.
That's
Shoot.
cool. I got 2 successes, so I did okay.
All right, so with your super laser feelings,
Shit.
you start shooting at like let's see, one of the ships to the left, just concentrated fire, and you're able to just take off a whole huge chunk of it.
Fuck yeah.
All right, and it's like sweet, just like your video games. You, Zap, Bree, are
I'm laughing as I shoot.
you're just shooting orbs and trying to like. Are you like?
Now these orbs, like we can tell that they're kind of biomechanical. They're not like okay, yeah. If that's the case, yeah, I'm shooting these orbs.
Are these
to try and
orbs
keep
also
these-
offensive, or are they
They
just kind
don't-
of chilling?
They're like just flying towards your ship. They don't look like they're shooting anything. They don't look like.
I don't know what it is, but I just came from outside. There's blood everywhere. I'm just kind of fed up. I just want to shoot these orbs. I don't know what they are. I just want
It's
them
just like
away.
asteroids. Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're shooting them. You're destroying them. So as that's happening, though, some of them start just pelting the ship. And as that's happening, you hear these like thuds, and like the shields are up, but it's just like so. It just sounds like it's just hitting the side of the ship.
It's like they're bypassing the shields somehow? Or
You're not 100% sure yet. You're just hearing it hit, and then nothing else. Well, that's you wouldn't hear it. There's no sound in space.
there is in this game, in this universe.
Yeah, that's just a decision to make.
Sure. Okay. So then you hear alarms start happening in the sick bay.
I imagine I've been in there because I don't see a reason for me to be out in the.
Oh, okay.
I was because that's
You
why I
never
was in
left?
comment. Yeah, I
You never left sick bay? You were just watching him? Okay. So while you, then I redact that.
me suffering Jenkins' miserable existence. I'm just like sitting there with him doing
Yes.
work,
Right.
doing medicine stuff.
Right. So
Doing science.
you've proclaimed the time of death of Captain Darcy.
As he's still on the
As he's
floor.
still forward breathing and groaning in pain.
Rolling around.
Rolling in pain.
Yes.
And as you're just like doing your medical things, like do.
Remember, Jenkins, don't mix the purple with the yellow in the beakers because that makes the bad stuff happen.
And you're not paying
I don't
attention
have specific-
to the fact that now Captain Darcy is now standing very close to the door of the quarantine area where the pustules have bust open. There's now this black metallic-y
Ruh-roh.
ooze coming out of them.
I misdiagnosed. I guess I misdiagnosed Captain Darcy. He has that metallic disease that our Sam has.
Oh shit, Sam, you're diseased.
That's my diagnosis.
All right.
Sam.
That was perfect.
He's not a robot. He's just got like some weird metallic skin disease.
So he's standing there, and you see this ooze just coming down to his hands and coating his hands. And he puts his hand on the console, and like you can kind of see it seeping out through the other side,
like into our area?
into the sick bay. What are you doing?
I put on because I imagine like like quarantine and all that medical stuff. We have suits like biohazard suits, and I instruct Jenkins, get your biohazard suit. As much as you disgust me, I can't afford to lose another intern. So
yes, doctor.
And I kind of and as we suit up, I briefly announce, something weird's happening in sick bay, over the comms. It's like,
do you want to be more specific?
Let's just say Captain Darcy's his diagnosis has changed.
Got better.
What could be weirder than what already happened?
He's oozing black stuff, and he's
all right. Fair point.
It's a little complicated, and I'm in a hurry to get the hell out of here. I guess I'm going to use my feelings to get intuition. Well, I'm pretty sure we're in danger. I don't think I have to use my feelings to tell if we're in danger or not.
Yes.
It looks the stuff oozing out looks completely like computerized or I guess mechanical.
You have a scanner.
Yeah, I guess I
you
can
do
scan.
have a scanner, but also as he's like the ooze is coming out into the sick bay, it's like going over to like a console, like a sick bay console, and you start to see like it covered a little bit, and things are starting to light up on the console.
Ooh, that's no
good thing we got real bad wiring.
Oh shit! I've already thought about that.
Nice.
I turn to Jenkins and I say, Jenkins, it's time to mix the purple with the yellow. because for whatever reason, in my medical bay, I have this purple and yellow thing that if you combine the liquids, they catch on fire. And I'm going to use it as combustible to burn whatever the ooze is and try to cut it off from the source.
Okay, so I'm going to say you're going to have to use lasers for this one.
I know.
Some kind of weird clean room procedure. Just set everything on fire.
So, like, I have Jenkins have the yellow, and I'm, like, prepared to throw it, and I'll throw it over there, too. And as soon as they combine over top of the thing, they'll explode. I guess I'm prepared, though?
I'm going to say no.
He just doesn't feel like it.
No, you're not prepared. You're not prepared at all.
But it's within my field.
Yes, so you've got
Okay,
an expert.
2 dice.
You know how to mix the purple and yellow.
Lasers. I have to roll under my number. I have to roll under a 3.
Oh.
This is going to be fun. Yeah, okay. Dice, don't fail me now. Oh, I got 2 ones.
Yes. What? No, I was so hoping for failure.
Dr. Lasersaw cannot be denied.
All right.
Feelings win again.
And I didn't burn another intern.
Oh, shit. Describe what you do.
Okay, so me and Jenkins, we both get I get the purple beaker, and then he gets the yellow beaker, and I say, all right, are you ready? I say, and then I counted 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we throw it basically at the base of where the console is, and then also, just try to cut the slime off from the source and see if the fire affects it at all.
Okay.
And possibly, because whatever it is machine and possibly biological material, so it should be susceptible to fire and high temperatures, and it should fry it or melt it, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what we aim to do, and we try our best to contain the fire too, because we don't want to burn the sick bay down. So we have
trying to do a controlled burn in sick bay.
We have a fire extinguisher handy, or there's probably an automatic fire extinguisher system. Who knows? Whatever. It's a spaceship. Whatever.
Yes.
So that's what we try to do. We just at least try to get the substance to burn and see if we can stop it from doing what it's doing. Because if we disconnect it from Darcy, because it's still connected to Darcy, I assume.
Yes.
Then maybe it'll at least slow it down and stop it from doing whatever.
Sure. So you throw
the
your...
ooze is hacking the computers, which is bizarre.
At least Jenkins is getting some really good experience as an intern.
Exactly.
All right. So, yeah, you totally do that. You throw your purple like you guys throw Jenkins and you both throw the purple at the same time, and it like
Purple and yellow.
mixes into the air and splashes on the console, creating a combustion. And you see the black ooze recoil away, and then the console's like you were on one part of the console and just starts going fire, and then it's like kind of the whole console starts sparking. So you've
because of those bad
because the bad wiring in it. So unfortunately your console's so shitty in this ship that like even though you were trying to control that burn, it's starting to spark everything else down there.
Spark everything
as you do that, you look up and you see kind of like you still see Captain Darcy on the other side. His eye, like he's slowly being like covered in this black ooze, but you can see in his eyes are like terrified, like, and like he's trying, like there's parts where he's like trying to like get out of it and then like completely glass-eyed, but then he comes back out of it and kind of like starts to knock on the wall, then put his arm back down.
Is it obvious that he's resisting, or should I use feelings to deduct
You should
that?
probably use feelings to deduct that.
I will use feelings to deduct that. Watch, I'll roll under. I'm not prepared for it. Should I just roll 1 then? It's not really a field thing. I'm just trying to guess of what he's doing.
Yeah, and you're not prepared for it, so roll 1. See if you even know.
Yeah, okay. That's 2. That's under my 3, so that's a no.
Yes, you can tell that he is completely trying to resist. Like he looks scared.
I failed that.
Oh, you failed? Shit,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If you
know nothing.
It's
I
all
know
right.
nothing. I think
Redact that.
He's having a seizure.
Okay, sorry. You feel that? Yes, he's having a seizure.
Yep.
Sorry, totally.
I used my feelings, and my feelings are 3, so I got under.
I gotcha. Yeah. All right, I fucked that up. Oh well.
It's okay. He's just having a seizure. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
He's dead. Who cares?
He's dead and having a seizure, of course.
So you
Death
guys,
throes,
Right.
It's been going on for 20 minutes.
Those moans. Oh, he had extra air in his lungs.
the black is just the defecation.
Yeah, he's deteriorating at a rapid pace.
So you guys were, the rest of you were on the ship, gun happy shooting. You would say Android doing? Yeah.
I think as the announcement came over the comms that, hey guys, there's something weird going on in the sick bay. I think that's my calling. I think I need to get down there and assess the situation.
So sure, as you're running down to assess the situation,
wheeling down maybe. I don't.
Yeah, sure. Describe how you.
Well, yeah, because I can't run. I mean, you've seen robots; they can't run.
It depends on what kind
It's
of
just-
robot you are.
Oh my gosh.
But I can't do that. So yeah, I'm the wheeled type.
Okay.
Segwaying it down.
Oh my gosh, you're just a Segway. Do people ride you?
No, I'm not a Segway.
Damn it!
Can you transform into a Segway?
Are you a transforming android?
No,
A robot
No.
built on top of a Segway.
That's not. Androids don't transform.
But androids are.
Transformers transform.
Oh well.
Good point.
I'm not more than meets the eye.
Did we specify if you had metallic metallic exterior, or you like data from?
Yeah, because we talked about the plastic or the polymer skin.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got some like Heelys built in there.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. As you're healing down to sickbay, you notice that there's like black ooze coming in from like the walls, and as you notice that, you hear the alarm that usually goes off for hull breach.
Oh, hull breach. Okay.
So usually it's like
Yeah.
when you get.
I just got so nervous, you guys.
I hopped off the turret and went to wherever I keep my guns. If it's a whole breach, then I got to be there.
Yes.
Could be in very.
So you're healing down. The hull breach alarm is going off. Sexy engineer, what were you doing? You were looking for the black box.
Yeah, the last time was I was.
And it was retrieved.
Yes. I will. Scientist or the engineer could look at the black box. I guess I'll take the black box since I was like, oh yeah, I was looking for love letters. So
Right.
I take it from Zap. I was like, give that here. I'll go and analyze
just
it.
take it. Just here.
Like he got on the ship and was just like threw it down on the
Yeah.
ground, and, like got into the seat, and so
So yeah, I hook it up to the data port and I will start
lasering it.
lasering it. Start downloading the data. But I am not. Nope.
You didn't do it.
No.
at all.
Not so good with the lasers.
I'm not so good with this technology. It's just my job. I'm here more for the people.
So you go to like download this box, and like as you're doing it, like you actually put the wrong cord into the wrong output, and then like you turn the power on, and because your consoles are all fucking terrible, you just and totally fry this black box, and you retrieve nothing from it. Oh damn. Okay, you guys are still shooting stuff. Let's see what should happen next. Ooze is coming in. Android is getting down. So you see that. You get down to the medical bay, and you see this chaos around you.
Yeah, that is chaos. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
And you're looking at Darcy now. Like he deduced. Dr. Lasersaw deduced. Oh, he's just having a seizure. Don't mind him.
He's having a death fit.
And you're noticing that he's like, it's just, I don't know, he's looking kind of like, it's just starting to coat him all over, but then like kind of in like, you're starting to see it disappear, and it looks like it's maybe like his body's absorbing it. So what once was a bunch of black is now kind of like going inside of him.
Okay. Is this the same black that the ships were shooting at us?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
You could probably figure it out. You since you rolled.
That was my figuring out. Yeah. Okay. I think we need to. Well, I'm in the medical bay, and so there's
Welcome to my lab.
there's a fire, there's a doctor, there's a Jenkins, and there's a Captain Darcy still in the sick bay.
Yes.
Quarantined.
Yes.
But it's okay. He's dead.
And so I'd like to maybe kill Darcy.
I mean, there's still black stuff kind of out there, but like not on the console anymore.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I could analyze the black stuff. I could find something in the medical lab that might dissolve it or render it neutral.
Inert, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of what I'd like to do.
Okay, sure. So, are you going to use your lasers?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're prepared. Is this you're a scientist?
Yes.
So you know how to use lab equipment. So you're an expert in this area.
I mean, yeah. I mean, unless this is specifically medical equipment. I mean, if it's medicine, then I'm not, because I don't know what humans do.
Medical labs have like what are those things called?
Microscope.
Thank you. A microscope. Shit. We'll slide.
Man, podcast charades.
I know.
We call them zoom zooms.
Yes, there is a plethora of zoom zooms for which you could use. You've got scanners. There's.
I'm looking for something to render it inert. So acids or.
I mean, we could
fire
do
extinguishers
or
like
a science montage of you trying to do like a bunch of shit. But I think, are you just gonna start randomly grabbing acid and dumping
because
it
I
on
know
it?
it's a biometric thing,
Right.
Or a biomechanical thing, sorry.
Right.
Is that your diagnosis?
Yeah. And so I've seen it shoot through space, so cutting the oxygen isn't going to help. And so it's got to be something other than that. And so I'm thinking acids or fire or heat.
Lasers?
It could be it could be susceptible to lasers.
I'm pretty sure we got lasers things.
Did we observe any of them getting shot? Like what happened when they got shot?
It would, yeah, sure. When you see them get shot, they just kind of like poof into like that kind of like space dust, kind of, but you don't really notice anything else. It's just like poof.
Okay.
The same poof from the medical bay?
Yes. I was like it's really hard to like tell when people should roll for something. Like if I was playing Dungeons & Dragons, I'm like, roll a perception check.
No, I'll say this.
Yeah.
Because I've shot these things before, and I was also present when I saw. So
right. So you're seeing like this poof, spray of mist happening. Like when one gets close enough, you're getting them when they're pretty far off. But when one comes close enough to like your guys' view, you see it.
Should be easy to connect those dots.
Yes, it'll be easy for you to connect those dots. So yeah, you roll lasers for me because you're going to do a science montage of trying to experiment on these things.
Yeah, sure.
And try to gain some insight.
Should I help him? Would there be any repercussions for me?
Oh no! Please help!
Okay,
please help! So am I getting 2 or 3 here? I don't think I'm necessarily prepared for this.
No, but you're an expert, so
Right.
you get 2.
Okay. He's using lasers. Should I use lasers too, or feel?
I don't know. How do you help him?
I could use feelings to kind of get a
Morale boost, man.
morale boost. Yeah, I'm like they're pumping him up and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, Sam, you're doing it. You're doing a great job, Sam.
Do you still have your red nose on?
Yeah, I got my red nose on, my clown shoes and whatever. Jenkins, get away from him. You're giving him bad luck. All right. Yeah, I got over my feelings. So I did.
Okay, so I get
you
a
know,
bonus.
Yeah.
One.
Gonna need it.
1 and 2 misses on that.
So you didn't succeed?
I succeeded once.
So there'll be a complication.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Jenkins.
how
Yes,
how are you getting this material? Like, were you just scraping it up off the floor with like a putty knife?
The ooze? No,
Yeah.
I don't want to touch the ooze.
Right. So
And so like I'm turning around and I'm looking at like the cabinets of like space medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like grabbing a couple and like mixing and like my little scanner eyes like zooming in and be like, oh, this is a caustic material, and so I grab that and I throw it at the space ooze.
Yeah.
And,
so you keep like doing that over and over again, like throwing stuff at it, and it's kind of like it doesn't seem to have any real effect. Like you've tried hydrochloric acid, which is now burning through the floor. You've tried.
No. My floor.
You're trying, whatever compounds you could find. And as you're doing this, it's kind of like splitting apart, like it's moving on its own and forming together. And it's moving on its own and it's forming together. As you're doing that and throwing things, and it's kind of like moving and dodging and stuff, it's getting closer and closer to you.
yeah.
And when you're like, oh shit, and you're like you throw something that causes a electrical discharge, like it's kind of getting close to like an area where
Sure.
and when you throw something hydrochloric acid, it causes like something in the ship to spark.
Mhm.
And when it sparks, that electricity arc hits it and it however, you're in the
Yeah. Right.
Oh, no.
so no. So that's what happens.
It's a very minor complication.
Yes, it's very minor.
Okay, good.
All right. As all this is happening, and you hear the hull breach alarm go off, you guys are in the bridge near the pilot chair. You notice on your display that the cargo area has been opened.
Our void crystals,
All your void crystals are down there.
which are known to be a potent source of energy.
Yes.
Great.
And like the ships have disappeared from your front
Mm.
and seem to have moved and concentrated to the rear of your ship. So you've been shooting it. That one that's still out there damaged is still damaged, and it's kind of like, looks like it's not really piloting anymore, and it's kind of drifting off. But the other 3 have now moved behind you guys. So
Is that where the cargo bay is? Like they're
Yes.
waiting to catch it?
Yes.
Okay, I assume we have communicators. So while I was running away to find out where this hull breach was, I heard about the cargo bay being opened.
Yeah, and it's not
So I go check
fully
it out.
it's not like fully open. It's like it's like cracked or something. So it's just like
Okay,
so
I go-
like things have like, obviously, you guys know space, it's like shifted in there, but
So it's like a door or a crack?
It's
a
like-
breach.
it's like the door has been mechanically opened, but just enough for like maybe
Some ooze.
some ooze.
I'm going to say I'm probably still in my spacesuit since I ran from inside to grab the black box straight to the turret and
Okay.
straight to this. So I'm going to make my way to the cargo bay, see what's going on there.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm in the cargo bay, and what do I see?
So what you see when you come in,
I do have my gun, by the way, because that was the first thing I grabbed before going
Of
to check
course.
out the hole.
sure. So what you see when you come in is humanoid-like creatures kind of crawling in through the crack of the cargo hull door.
Okay.
So
start blasting.
and there's like
You had him
and it's
a
like-
humanoid creature.
and like the cargo door is huge, right? So it's like they're filling the entire gap.
Okay.
Light him up, Zappery.
Yeah, I guess I'll shoot what I can. Like, there's a lot of them, but I got
All
a lot
right.
of bullets.
Go for it. You start
All right.
shooting.
I'm an expert. Could you say
You were prepared because
gun in hand? I was
Yeah,
prepared?
yes.
Okay. So I have 2 successes.
all right, you start shooting them off one by one. Pew, 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 pew.
And they're headshots because, of course, I'm a gamer. So that's what I'm looking for.
How does this make you feel? Do you feel like
I'm starting to feel like maybe I am kind of like a video game character. I am kind of proving myself. My first mission's doing okay.
So he's down there. Are you yelling at anybody to tell people? Like, these are, for all intents and purposes, they look like some have black patches on them. Most of them have like a black thing across their mouth right now. And they're coming in. So
I just yell to anyone on the communicator. There's some freaks in the cargo bay area. Might not want to come this way.
What kind of freaks?
They do have. They look kind of like gags. You might be into this. Grab your gun if you want to join me. By the way, there's no oxygen, so you might want to pop into a suit.
Is there something to shoot down there? God
yeah, but
damn it, I want to try to maneuver the ship around.
Okay.
So that I'm facing those other ships and try to shoot them too.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. You're piloting, so let's see if you can laser.
Pilot, could you close these doors? Is there any way you can...
Manual override.
Yeah. If you do, you'll squish a whole bunch of them, and that'll be really cool.
Do I have some kind of central control at my fingertips?
You do, because you saw the count. You actually were the one who saw that there was an opening in the cargo. You can attempt to.
Is it more important that I squish these guys or that I maneuver the ship to face?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just be a button press to kind of close
it's
it?
A manual
Your guys'
override.
console is...
It's a big crank.
Right. Yes, exactly. Let's go with that. Your guys' manual override is this huge crank that is down the...
It's directly connected
and it takes two. It's a 2-man lift.
Jeez, okay, never mind.
Well, Lacey was starting to run down there.
There's things to shoot.
Oh, she's not there to shoot.
No, I know. Shoot some sexy glances.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to move the ship because that's going to be a more satisfying explosion.
Yes. So you want to roll. You're already in the seat. You're prepared. This is you're an expert pilot. Yep. So you're going to roll 3d6.
Okay, great.
And you're using lasers, so you want to roll under your 4. Oh, you did. You did a great job.
3.
Oh shit! Jeez.
Hell yeah!
Tail whip.
Extra.
What is that called? That maneuver when you flip the engines and you?
I don't know.
Oh, you mean an Emmelman? No, wait, that's not right.
No.
I don't know.
I can't remember Navy terms / Firefly terms.
I don't know. So you do exactly that, and as you're like spinning around, you actually hit the nose of one of the black ships, which pushes it into So basically, there was 3 back there. You pushed one into the other one, and they're all pointy. So it's like spears right through the other one, and it kind of like drifts off. And so now you just have one black ship back there that you're now face to face with, and you're down there. I don't know how it's.
Do I see these explosions? By the way,
no.
Through the cracks.
The cracks are about that. A human can fit through it. So that happened. You're running down there.
Yeah.
You show up. With your gun out.
Yeah,
maybe.
in a very, very tight spacesuit. Very.
Of course.
And I'm talking. It's like waves of creatures. So like you're shooting off maybe like.
I'm not shooting. I'm like
not you, but I'm talking. Sorry, it's like Zapper. He's been shooting, and they like some of them are dying for lack of a better term, and stopping. They're just stopping, and they're crawling through, and they're standing up, and they are like hustling around, looking like grabbing at void crystals and stuff. And void crystals are like. I mean, there's crates of them, but they're like kind of like grabbing at them and stuff.
Guys, they're taking our crystals.
So I run in there. I'm like some are like humanoid, and you're saying they're pretty much like humanoid people that have black patches and stuff like that. So I go down there, and probably there's both genders or gender, all representations.
Yeah. Like some of them, like you can tell, like that was a female human at one point. There's alien looking ones that have like tentacles in the middle of their forehead.
Yeah, so I'll go down there and be like, stop. And I'll be like, we can all share if we all just stop for a second and talk and work this out.
All right, you can go talk to them. I'll shoot on this side.
So go for it. Roll for your feelings.
Yeah, am I just one or how?
You're prepared,
Okay,
and this
so
is your
2.
area of expertise, right?
I guess so.
I mean, no,
The sexy
no.
part, or no?
No.
So
Here,
two.
let me help, and let me explain how I'm helping. I'm shooting a lot of these things.
They don't.
don't think that's happening.
They don't see. They actually. It's what's weird is like they don't seem to be coming at you. They
Just
seem
the
to be
crystals.
looking at the crystals.
Right. So 2 successes.
Oh my gosh! So as you're like trying to pick one out of the crowd, you see. Name me an agent or like somebody in the Space Federation that you used to like mac on.
Victoria.
All right. So you see. Oh shit, Victoria. She was stationed on the Blackleaf.
Oh, Victoria, what are you doing?
That's not Victoria.
No, it is. Look, and Lacey runs over and like grabs her hand.
She was in mid, like grabbing the crystals and stuff, but then here's Victoria and just kind of stops moving.
I'm contemplating shooting Victoria, but I also kind of, however this plays out, I think I'll be okay.
So you successfully stopped one of them, Victoria. Good job.
See, we can work this out. We just need to talk. They're still
She has
alive.
a gag on, a black goo gag.
And I will. It's like, no, look, and Lacey tries to peel off the black goo gag.
Oh my gosh. You're going to have to roll something for that.
Would that be
I'm not sure what yet,
lasers
but
for
roll
science?
something.
It's probably, I don't know how you're going to do this. You could-
Essentially.
Again, I will help. I will help by shooting.
I guess, like, you know so far that it's biomechanical.
I think I get 1 on feelings, is what I'm thinking.
Okay, you can try.
So 1 success. So
It works.
I don't know what the
You
fuck
can do
happened.
anything.
But there's a complication or something.
Yeah, I'll say.
Oh my god, how am I going to do this?
power of love, man?
I mean, it is the power of love right now.
Victoria's tongue remembers.
You go to remove the gag, and it's almost like, well, the doctor would know if he would remember anything. But you're like looking at her eyes, and they're kind of glassy, right?
I'm dangerous, not forgetful.
No, you didn't convey anything. So you're like looking at Victoria, and you see that her eyes were glassy, and when you're looking into her eyes, and you're like, Victoria, don't you remember me? And you go to remove the black goo on her mouth, like her actual eyes are unclouded. So now you're looking at Victoria, and you have the black goo when it comes in touch with your hand just starts to like slide off. So you succeeded by using your feelings to reach Victoria.
Okay. The complication.
Shut up.
In
Lindsay.
doing so, you have gained the attention of the zombies, or the biomechanical zombies,
yes.
have stopped grabbing the crystals and have turned to look at you.
Oh, shit.
And all of them are looking at you right now.
Oh. We can all share.
Oh my gosh. So now you've got all these zombies like staring at you, and Victoria staring at you, and Zap is not
That was the last game.
Not Chip.
Yeah, I got a new job after the music
Yeah,
store.
totally. Chip got sent to space.
Are
And
they approaching her?
it looks like they're starting to descend upon Victoria.
Okay, I'm still shooting because that falls into the rules of engagement.
Okay.
I know they had a moment, and it seems like, a human was there for a little bit. But, hey, they're creepy zombie black goo monsters that are closing in on... I'm not the biggest fan of Lacey, but she's crew, so...
Okay, go ahead. You shoot.
Yes.
I want to see if you cannot shoot Lacey.
I have 2 successes and a laser feeling.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Damn.
The question I want to ask, are these goo people redeemable? Can they come back?
Good question, Chip.
Some can, some cannot.
Yeah, the ones I shot can't.
Okay, let me do it this way since we're doing the end of this anyway.
Okay.
So some of them are redeemable. It depends on how long they've been infected.
Okay.
So Victoria hasn't been infected that long.
Because their ship just blew up.
Yeah, the Black Leaf just blew up.
Okay.
Now you're like, that helps me how.
No, that is good to know.
And you can kind of tell by the amount of like cyber gunk that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Captain Darcy, when it all absorbed into him, he didn't show any on the outside. Like not much. Like there was like maybe fingernails or whatever. But there's some in here that are almost completely covered.
So they still haven't been absorbed into the skin yet.
No, it's like reverse. It's like it absorbs into the skin
And
And
then
it
comes
seeps out as
Gotcha.
it gets stronger.
So there's lots of in here that are kind of, and then you actually see one figure. One of them is completely covered. Like there is absolutely no discernible organic, as you recognize it, on the outside.
Kind of stumped on what to do because there's a lot of these people and we can't just like manually rip off all these goo gags off of everybody.
Also, there's no oxygen in here still.
Yeah.
So you can roll a.
It sounds like it wasn't just the ripping off that did it, though. It was having a previous connection that helped.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's canon, but that's how it sounded.
Yeah.
Good insight there.
How many people do you have a connection to, Lacey?
That's
Do
actually.
you have a connection to everyone in this room? Otherwise, I'm going to keep shooting.
As a doctor, I could probably throw in my 2 cents.
You run in.
Yeah.
I want to. Okay, so what I was telling you, we were looking at them, and you're like, oh, well, there's one figure that is completely encased in this black stuff, and they are standing off. Everybody else is starting to descend upon them, but they are standing, kind of like as you can't see eyes, you can't see ears, but they're facing the rest of this.
You mean overseeing?
Yeah, kind of like
a head
kind of
honcho
like-
zombie.
kind of like everybody else is kind of like moving jankily, right? Like their limbs are all riggery, motorsy kind of type. But this one seems to kind of like move really fluidly.
Like the Michael Jackson Thriller.
So, like,
Yes, it's moonwalking.
Yeah.
No, it's standing there kind of like overseeing what's happening.
my instinct, of course, headshot, boom, headshot. But, and because if it is like a person, that would be kind of fucked up.
Remember what I said, that some are redeemable,
Yeah.
but there are some that are too far gone.
Okay. So
Like
he's
there's
completely
some
covered.
that can't be redeemed.
Okay. So headshot. I'm gonna roll first. This specific target.
Okay.
I have. Does a laser feeling count as success?
Yes.
Then I have 2 successes, and I guess I have another question I can ask.
Yes.
Is shooting this thing the right course of action?
Without a shadow of a doubt, you must do this. In your
Okay.
games that you play, you know about mother
Yeah.
queens.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But I also these are real people. All of these people. So
Except for that one, maybe.
Except for
Maybe, yeah.
unredeemable.
But what does that matter?
Why is morality coming into question now? After you've been killing dozens of them.
He's a rookie, and this is his first
Oh
time.
shit! You're
Yeah.
coming
Back
to.
ops the line. He's
Yeah,
got
I'm
to pick
starting
his
to
ending.
realize who is the monster. Do I feel like a hero now?
Oh god.
Press A to pay respect.
Is this what he,
No, I just shoot him.
So as you headshot,
Yeah, of course.
okay,
Duh.
you shoot with precision accuracy, and when it bullet meets head, and the body falls and just starts to kind of like melt into a puddle, and then all the rest of the zombies just drop, except for Victoria, who is still engaged with Lacey. And the spaceship that was outside, the third one that you were going to battle, goes inert and starts to drift off.
Can I run somewhere to whatever the crank console is and
Yes.
try to shut that
Yes.
door?
Yes, please use your lasers, I guess. Or I can probably say you just do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm okay with that.
yeah, okay. So you close the airlock. You're still talking with Lacey. Or your Lacey is still
yeah,
talking with
with
Victoria. And like, as you're talking with her, tell me, what are you saying to her?
Oh, Victoria, what happened? I'll clean you up. Come to my quarters.
And she just kind of like nods her head, and like more of the biomechanical stuff is starting to like slough off.
Mm-hmm.
And her clothes are all tattered.
That's right.
Just in the right places, just like
Yep.
the hide, the
Right.
all right.
Mhm.
And the threat has been
what happens to Darcy?
Yeah.
well. You tell me what's happening to Darcy.
Same thing. His stuff kind of melts off. Although he's still kind
Are you
of.
talking
He's
to
super
him?
dead though.
No, I'm just. You tell me. Tell me what happens.
Yeah. Like, are you? Well, like,
Well, okay, fine. In the medical bill, I'll explain what happens in the medical bill.
yeah.
Same sort of thing happens that was happening in the cargo bay.
Yeah.
Darcy's stuff kind of melts out, although he had those gross pustules that explode, so
Yeah.
he's still
Hurt.
harshly ugly looking, and I'm still like, oh, he's still dead. You know? He's probably laying there motionless and not.
Are you gonna?
No, he's quarantined. We're just gonna leave him in there because I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
This might be a ploy. This might be the disease in his brain, like playing a trick on us. And it's just, but clearly he's, whatever. Sam and me and Jenkins celebrate. I go to pat Jenkins on the shoulder, but think twice about it, and then I go. And I just one pat, and then I wipe my hand on my jacket or whatever. I'm just like,
He's got
On
tears in
his
his
biohazard
eyes.
suit.
in his eyes, and that's our wrap up in the medical bay. Just us being like, oh yeah, it's over.
We did it!
Whatever it was,
We did it.
Space AIDS is dead.
Yeah, and then Android, you're like you're super concerned. You're like you inhaled that shit, right?
We had our hazard suits on.
Oh,
I did not have
he
a
did not
hazard
have
suit.
the Android. Did
Yeah,
not
he
have,
didn't have a hazard suit, but we did.
I know.
me and Jenkins did.
Physician, heal thyself.
Oh my god.
I mean, I could scan you to
Have
see
you-
if you got any of that stuff in.
Have you heard of the Hippocratic Oath? So
He probably hasn't, to be fair.
yeah, true. So like when
The
when you
hypocritical.
Yeah, totally.
you're fine. When you inhaled it, you had started to feel stuff like kind of like voices in your head. But once you saw Darcy's goop start to fall off of him, the voices are gone. That weird feeling is gone. You're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
all right.
Mm.
Some kind of Android flashback.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Power,
All right.
power surge.
So we can like kind of do an epilogue, I guess. Medical doctor, I don't know what to do with you. So eventually you make it back to the Federation port.
I get arrested because I'm impersonating a doctor, and they just found out.
Oh, okay, that works. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to try and like, as a scientist, figure out what actually happened?
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Okay.
sure.
So you were able to analyze this biomechanical thing. And what you've realized is, I had notes about this. You find out like they're tiny, 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 almost indetectable nanobots that actually they are biomechanical. They are they infect people and lay dormant inside of a person. Spore. So what happened was Captain Darcy went down to the planet that you guys were mining from. He went off on his own maybe and like stumbled upon some like corpse and
Snorted some space fungus.
Snorted some space fungus and was infected. It's actually an old ancient alien zombie overtaking bacteria thing that's biomechanical and lays dormant until the hive queen triggers it. And so what they were trying to do, you guys, when they intercepted the black leaf, they knew about your guys' payload.
Okay.
And their whole goal was to spread further in the universe. And the only way to do that is through using void crystals to power their ships. So you guys had a huge payload. And you kind of get that information from Victoria as you're talking more to her because she was part of that hive mind. Over time, she's
that's
able to, like, I remember hearing, these words over and over again, spread, 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 and like void crystal.
And Lacey's like, yes.
Yeah, Lacey's like,
yes.
yeah, spread, spread. Oh, shit. And that's kind of like where you kind of figure out at the Federation port. The end.
The end.
That was rad.
Was it really? Because I feel like it was.
No, yeah. That was
I
really
felt
fun.
like a badass.
Yeah, you get an award
was
for
fun.
awesome space driving.
Awesome space driving.
That sweet whip around and that.
I'm honestly going to miss playing as Dr. Laser.
Put them in your back pocket. So yeah,
back pocket.
I made that up completely from nothing.
That's pretty
I mean,
fun.
other than the prompts that I got from Lasers and
That
Feelings.
I loved that.
yeah, it's fun.
Was it?
That was great.
Yeah.
Was it,
Yeah,
Dave?
no, it was good. It was really good.
Okay.
I liked it.
That was the joke.
So that was like my first time ever coming up with like a module. I don't know if that was like
It was cool.
It's all right.
I liked it a lot.
it was all right.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, like, as far as like module making this go, I mean, this is supposed to be like kind of improvisational, but that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's set up really well.
Okay, good. Like there was sometimes like as a DM, I'm sure this is going to happen a lot. Like I'm trying really hard not to railroad, but I know in a module one shot there's going to be some of that. But like there was your characters made things hard, and I was like, I don't know if it was like it. Like I felt like I wasn't did I do a good enough job incorporating your characters? I feel like there was parts of times where I missed out on Android Dave.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to like incorporate Android Scientist Dave into things.
Yeah, I think you running pretty much is like an improvised game, and running a 5th player in your second game definitely was more of a challenge for you.
Yeah, there was just no, and I think it's also because the structure of the game doesn't really say, okay, that you're going to have a scene, and everybody in the scene has to take an action. So I was like trying really, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, I was kind of like going around.
Take stock of who had done what.
Yeah.
And I just felt like sometimes I would look up and see Dave, and he's like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And I'm like, I don't know what to have.
No, it's okay. I mean,
well, the things Dave did were like really important to getting the story. You're trying to figure out what this goo was, and it's hard to have an exciting like. You're doing research. That's
right. And when it comes time to battle, that character is not going to have like the big battle scene. And you know, it's also hard because the game is so freeform.
Right.
You know, I mean, if we had initiative rolls,
right,
nobody would have been missed because it would have been like, okay, it's your turn. What do you do?
Right.
But because it's so freeform, it's hard to do that.
Right.
You've got to kind of point the camera, so to speak, where the action is.
Yeah.
And the characters that aren't in that scene aren't going to be.
Yeah, and I was like having a hard time keeping you guys all together. Like, it doesn't make... If you guys were all doctors, it would be a lot easier. If you guys were all engineers, it would be a lot easier. If you were all scientists. But instead what I had was literally every single type of character. Right, and like I try to give like hooks for you, Dave, like finding out electricity. Like if you had started shocking the shit out of people with tasers...
Yeah.
Like that, and you're a scientist, you would know where to hit people with things. I was trying to give that to you, but then at the same time, like, oh, time is running out.
Yeah, that
oh,
was the problem.
shit.
Because Dave would have met up with us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With his
the
knowledge.
plan was my plan was to get to the cargo bay and use the void crystal's energy capabilities and charge them and make them electrified.
That would have been awesome. And I was kind of like hoping for that, but like when we came to time, I was like, fuck.
It's totally fine.
That would have been awesome. And it's kind of what I had in mind for what your character was potentially could do.
Yeah.
And then like for you as a pilot, I'm like the whole like trying to hook players is also something that I'm realizing is kind of like a very difficult task. Yeah, Josh is looking at me and going, giving the eye, like hooking players to like,
and that's something
and not
that
you.
I need to pick up on because like I've not played many games.
Yeah.
So I need to like figure out what I can sort of intrude upon and what is somebody else's scene.
It's such a weird, like, it's such a weird. People think, oh yeah, I'm gonna run a game, and it's like, no, you have to have fucking social skills and pick up on shit and like have a conversation, and it's really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to have a little light that pops on. I can like hit on. It's like who's in a scene. It's like to say like I want to be in the scene. I don't want to interrupt yet.
Right.
Like I want to add on to this later, but I want to just show that. Like I'm present,
like little flags.
Yes.
Well, because like for me or something, because like it's hard for me also to like again if I had initiative cards or if I had like a card up that said who went first.
Yeah.
I think I should have done that potentially. Like you know how you have a card face up and then you turn it face down when you went. So I know who to pick up on, who has ideas, but like specifically like making sure people know that hey, you can butt in at any time. I felt like when this game specifically. I felt like I was doing a lot of narrative, which I did not do last last game.
Yes.
Like trying to give you guys that space to operate in and like what was actually happening, which was very difficult for me in my mind and my brain. Especially because I didn't have like the way I prepared was I had the intro to get you all in one spot. I need all of you down here for Captain Darcy, to get you all in one spot to see this thing happen. But after that, I just have threats listed out.
Yeah.
And it's just very vague, threat, debris in the navigation, threat, hull breach, threat, the invasion happens, and then 5, battle. We would have had a longer battle if I had more time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and you've got these dueling constrictions that are restrictions. On the one hand, we're tight on time and we need to get this game wrapped up and gone.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you've got such a free-form open game that we could sit here for 10 hours and bullshit about space aids and who made dinner today. Oh yeah, we had a
reconstituted turkey.
Right, and like we would have gone with that forever because we're dumb. And
but that's a fun to me. I really love that.
Yeah.
And it's like really hard to like cap you guys when you're like talking about your characters and stuff and like your backstory, especially when you're like, okay, we have 2 hours. Let's try and get this done in an hour and a half. 2 hours is my max. Go. Oh my gosh. Oh well. As promised, here are my additional thoughts. So, as I was listening to this game, I noticed several areas of improvement. They are as follows. 1. Fucking pay attention. There's several times that I caught myself not really listening to the players, thinking things were successes when they were actually failures, and a few other things here and there. And I know in part where some of that comes from for me, and that's because I'm nervous, for one thing, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next and not really paying attention to what's happening in the present, here and now. 2, learn to fucking balance shit, as in the tiers of failure, minor to major complications, how much information to actually give the players, and the player actions themselves. 5 was a lot for me to manage right now. If I would redo this, I would do 3 or 4 players, but adding that 5th just made it so much harder for me to know what was going on with who. 3, speak with goddamn confidence. I sound like I don't know what's going on half the time. And honestly, I really don't because of improv, but I can change that confidence level by speaking slower and more deliberately. I'm just so nervous, and listening to the past 2 games I've ran, I can totally hear my speech tics and crutches and that weird inflection when I say kind of like. So I really want to start working on my actual speech. A thing that I brought up in last episode I want to talk about when I mentioned some of the crazy stuff that people make me say in games, I wasn't very happy with the name Space Aids, which kind of stuck, and I didn't help it because I just went along with it. So I need to learn how to speak up when something doesn't 100% sit well with me. So those were my takeaways from this game. I ran Honey Heist immediately after Lasers and Feelings, so we'll see if I feel the same way about it. I prepped way more for Lasers than I did for Honey Heist, so it might go quite a bit differently. Thanks for sticking around to hear all these extra thoughts. I know it's a lot. But if you like it and you want to hear more game thoughts, you can find me on Twitter at ShapeshiftCast. Or if you want to check out cool BuzzFeed quizzes, follow me at Rocket Orca. Shapeshift is a member of the Geekspective Network, which you can find on Twitter at Geekspective and online at geekspective.com. If you like what you hear and want to help a noob out, please consider donating to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Geekspective. August was the first month for Shapeshift rewards, and I uploaded outtakes from Damn the Man. Also, I would like to take a second to thank a new patron. Hey Heather, thanks so much for your support. I super appreciate it. You can't see it, but I'm totally doing finger guns at ya. Another great way you could help me out is by leaving a rating and review on iTunes. It would delight me. Next episode comes out on August 24th, right after Gen Con. Holy crap. Gen Con is in like a week. I'm not ready. If you want to catch my disorganized ass at the con, I'll totally be there, and I'm more than happy to say hi. I'll be on 2 panels being run by Geekspective, I believe starting Friday at 3 p.m. at the Crown Plaza. One is about improving puzzle design, which I'm honestly only there for moral support because I know jack shit about making puzzles at the moment. And the other is the How to Run an Evil campaign, which we've been doing for the last 4 years. So, see you at Gen Con or in 2 weeks for Honey Heist.